Talk about diabetic ketoacidosis. Diabetic ketoacidosis takes place more commonly in type 1 diabetes mellitus. In this, there is insulinopenia, which means there is less insulin production. As you all know, in type 1 diabetes mellitus, there is less insulin production due to the most commonly, majorly due to the autoimmune causes. There is a destruction of the beta cells, T cell mediated immune damage to the beta cells, which results in less insulin production in the body. So diabetic ketoacidosis is an emergency condition. Mortality in greater than 40 years is 20% and less than 40 years is 5% mortality. So what is the trigger of diabetic ketoacidosis? So insulin pump malfunctioning, poor compliance. If there is insulinopenia, there will be the increase in the counteracting hormones such as growth hormones, cortisol, catecholamines, and ketolysis will decrease. So the triggers are infections, surgery, myocardial infarction, cerebrovascular accident. So osmolality is increased, which leads to stupor and coma. Clinical features of diabetic ketoacidosis: nausea and vomiting, ketonemia. Nausea and vomiting, because ketonemia triggers the chemoreceptor trigger zone. There is increased ketone bodies in the body. So basically what happens is insulin is a anabolic hormone. It results in buildup of the body fats. If there is decrease in insulin, it will result in increased breakdown of the body fats and increased production of the ketone bodies. So this is the basic principle behind diabetic ketoacidosis, which leads to ketonemia. And the clinical features are nausea and vomiting, as ketonemia can stimulate the chemoreceptor trigger zone to cause nausea and vomiting. Abdominal pain can be there, stupor, coma. On examination, you can find the heart rate of the person will be increased, BP will be decreased, and the oral mucosa will be dry. Respiratory rate will be increased, and this type of respiration is called Kussmaul's respiration, which you all already be knowing from your physiology section. So ketone bodies are produced. There is more acidosis condition. So acidosis condition, hydrogen ions are increased, H plus ions is increased, so they will consume the bicarbonate ions, so they will be reduced in the body, and they will consume the bicarbonate ions to form H2CO3. H2CO3 gives fruity odor, and the fruity odor in breath is basically due to the production of acetone. Acetone is a ketone body. I basically told you why ketone bodies are produced. And H2CO3 will release H2O plus CO2. CO2 will stimulate the respiratory center. Respiratory center will be stimulated, so the respiratory rate will be increased, and the characteristic kind of respiration in this is called Kussmaul's respiration. So what is the workup in the patient of diabetic ketoacidosis? So first of all, we'll do the urine ketostatics. Acetoacetate detection will be there. We'll get to know that the patient has ketone bodies in the urine. So the characteristic finding of diabetic ketoacidosis will be there. The blood glucose will definitely be high, as it is a diabetic condition, 350 mg/. Sodium ions will be less, as there will be hypertonic hyponatremia. Okay. Potassium ions will be increased. Acidosis, efflux of potassium, compartment shift. As you all know, if insulin is decreased, then the potassium ions will all definitely be increased. Phosphate ions will be increased. Now I'm going to explain you why the sodium ion concentration will be decreased. So as you know, glucose draws water, dilution, and it will lead to decrease in sodium. Glucose will draw, as the glucose is more in the body, it will draw more water. As more water will be drawn from the tubules, the dilution will take place, and which will result in decrease in concentration of the sodium. So you can remember it as a fact that glucose is inversely proportional to sodium ion concentration, because glucose will draw more water, and water will lead to dilution, and dilution will lead to decreased concentration of the sodium ions. Alright, so it is a general characteristic finding that with increase in 100 mg% of glucose, sodium ion concentration goes down by 1.6 milliequivalents. Okay, total body potassium, if it is decreased, it will lead to vomiting and osmotic diuresis. The next workup will be arterial blood gas analysis. We can also do venous blood gas analysis, but arterial blood gas analysis is more common. So pH will be decreased, PCO2 will be decreased, and bicarbonate will also be decreased. I already told you why bicarbonate will be decreased, because increase in H plus ion concentration will consume the bicarbonate ions to form H2CO3, and H2CO3 will further break into CO2, which will lead to increased respiratory rate. So bicarbonate ions will also be decreased, and pH will also be decreased. Metabolic acidosis partially compensated. Next is the plasma beta hydroxybutyrate level values are increased at ketone bodies. Serum amylase and lipase are normal, or normally they can be increased up to certain limits. TLC is increased, KFT is deranged. Anion gap is important. Anion gap is high because sodium ion concentration is decreased. Chloride and bicarbonate ion concentration is also decreased. High anion gap metabolic acidosis condition is there. So what is the treatment management in the patients? So first of all, we'll manage on the basis of the plasma beta hydroxybutyrate levels. So if the plasma beta hydroxybutyrate levels are less than 4 and the pH is between 7.25 to 7.3, it is termed as mild diabetic ketoacidosis. If the pH is around 7 to 7.25 and the beta hydroxybutyrate levels are 4 to 8, means there is more acidic condition and the beta hydroxybutyrate levels are also increased, then it will be labeled as moderate diabetic ketoacidosis. And if the pH is less than 7 and the beta hydroxybutyrate levels are greater than 8, which refers that it is further more acidic condition and the beta hydroxybutyrate levels are further increased, it is labeled as severe diabetic ketoacidosis. So what will be the management? So first of all, we'll do IV normal saline 0.9%, because 5 liters over the next 8 hours, this is generally followed. And if there is severe hypokalemia in the patient, then we know that in diabetic ketoacidosis the potassium levels are elevated. We have studied here that the potassium levels in the clinical findings are elevated because of the efflux of the potassium in acidosis. Okay, so if the potassium levels are already elevated, we'll not use ringer lactate, we'll use normal saline, because ringer lactate contains potassium, it can cause diastolic arrest of the heart. All right, so 1 liter per hour into 2. So first we'll do 5 liters over the next 8 hours, then 1 liter per hour for the next 2 hours, and then 400 milliliter normal saline per hour. If on treatment sodium ion concentration is increased above 150 milliequivalent per milliequivalent, then we'll use 0.45%, when reduce the concentration of the normal saline because sodium levels are elevated. All right, if on treatment they are elevated. In diabetic ketoacidosis, generally the sodium ion concentration is reduced, but if they are elevated on treatment, on giving the normal saline, they are elevated, then we'll decrease the concentration of normal saline. The next step is the using of the regular insulin. As you all know that only regular insulin can be used IV. Only regular insulin can be used IV. So regular insulin is used. All right. The next one here is the bolus dose. The insulin dose was 0.1 units per kg. Prime insulin receptor, for the priming of the insulin receptor, infusion is generally at 0.1 units per kg per hour. All right. Blood sugar level is decreased 10% in the first hour and 50 milligram percent per hour. Death in pediatric patients is most commonly due to cerebral edema if sudden reduction of glucose. Blood sugar 250 milligram percent, change fluid to 5% dextrose. If the blood sugar is going below, then we can give 5% dextrose. Then potassium ion, if increased or normal on treatment, if potassium ion is decreased, hypokalemia can cause torsades de pointes. Add KCl to IV fluid 10 to 30 milliequivalent per hour. For acidosis, we give sodium bicarbonate. If only pH is less than 7.0, increase to 7.1, and then we should stop sodium bicarbonate. All right. Metabolic alkalosis, potassium ion influx in the cells, hypokalemia. Because of the acidosis, the potassium ion efflux takes place and there is hyperkalemia. So we'll induce metabolic alkalosis, which will lead to hypokalemia. Infection control, switch over to the subcutaneous insulin. All right. Hypoglycemic hyperosmolar coma. So this is another condition in which the mortality is 10 times greater than diabetic ketoacidosis. The blood sugar levels are 600 milligram percent. The pH here is normal. The bicarbonate is normal. The PCO2 is normal. The urine ketostix is negative. All right. So in diabetic ketoacidosis, the pH was also increased, the bicarbonate ions was also increased, the PCO2 was also increased, but the ketostix was positive. Here the ketostase is negative and all the other parameters are normal. But the blood sugar is very high. It is around 600 milligram percent. So what is the trigger of such kind of condition? This generally has an insidious onset and the trigger is myocardial infarction and pneumonia, and the treatment in hyperglycemic hyperosmolar coma is Normal saline 10 liters 24 hours. No need of insulin bolus. Insulin drip is given 0.05 units per kg per hour. So here's the summarization of the points which we have studied. So in the workup of the patient, is the blood sugar is around 350 milligram percent in emergency condition. The pH is 7.2. Bicarbonate ions are 15. Urine dipstick is negative. Beta hydroxybutyrate levels are normal, which means there is no ketoacidosis. Ketone bodies are normal, but the other dipstick is also negative because of the absence of ketone bodies. But the pH is decreased and bicarbonate ion levels are also decreased. So this condition is of lactic acidosis, not diabetic ketoacidosis, because the ketone bodies are negative. This is a lactic acidosis, and we should give sodium bicarbonate as management in these patients. But if the blood sugar is around 350, the pH is less, the bicarbonate is less, the urine dipstick is positive, beta hydroxybutyrates are increased, then the condition is diabetic ketoacidosis, which we have already studied in detail. The third condition is if the blood sugar is very high in the range of 600 to 800 milligram percent, but the pH is normal, the bicarbonate is normal, dipstick is also negative, and the beta hydroxybutyrate are also normal, then it is hyperglycemic hyperosmolar coma. Alright, so this was all about diabetic ketoacidosis and HH. Thank you.